Hi, boys and girls. So today is Thursday, and that means we have just one more day left in our week before our weekend. So one more day after today is Friday, and then we have two, what we used to call stay home days, and those are our weekends, Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll have some more learning take place next week. So, what I wanted to do today was teach you a game. Now, we've been talking a lot about our feelings this week and how we can change some feelings from being strong feelings that don't make us feel good to strong feelings that make us feel good, like happy and excited. Those are the kind of strong feelings that feel good inside. And we talked about lots of different strategies about calming down and giving your brain a chance to relax, think about other things so that you can change your feeling. One of the ways that I like to relax and calm down is by playing games. So there are so many games that you can play, and I bet you have lots of games at your house that you like to play. Now, lots of those games you might not realize that you're also learning while you're playing those games. So I want to talk to you about a game that you might want to play at your house, and maybe you've already played this before. But this is the game called War. Now, to play the game of War, you're actually practicing your math, okay? So the game of War is all about numbers, and it's about numbers that are greater than or bigger, or numbers that are less than or smaller. And sometimes you'll have numbers that are equal. That means they're the same, remember? And that is when you can have a war with whoever you're playing with. And you can play this game with two people or lots of people. So I was thinking I would spend some time teaching you about the game of War in case you haven't played it. And then during our class meetings tomorrow with our friends on the computer, I thought maybe we could try to play a game of War together through our computers. So first, let's talk about how you play the game of War. Now, there's lots of different rules. Some families play things a little bit differently. But I'm going to teach you the way that we're going to play War tomorrow. And this is the kind of the easiest way. And if we were in school, I would be using this as a game during one of our stations that you could do to practice numbers and thinking about greater than, less than, and equal to. So what you need to play War is a deck of cards. Now, I have a deck of cards, and it doesn't even have to be a whole deck. If you're missing a couple of cards, that's okay. So I do have a deck of cards here. Now, you might not have a deck of cards at your house, and if you don't, that's okay, because you can recycle and make your own deck of cards. So when you make a deck of cards, usually there's different pictures on them. Like this picture is called the clubs, so it looks kind of like a flower. That's a club. This picture is called, you know that shape, a diamond. This picture is called a spade. That's called a spade. And this picture, you know this shape, is called a heart. Now, decks of cards have those 4 different pictures, but when you make a deck of cards at your house, you don't have to make a full set in order to play the game of War. But normally, there are lots of hearts, lots of clubs, lots of spades, and lots of diamonds. Each one of those pictures has the same numbers, and there will always be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there'll be 3 that don't have numbers, they have letters. There's a J for a jack, a Q for a queen, a K for a king, and an A for an ace. An ace actually means 1. So when you make your deck of cards at your house, you don't even have to make all those pictures. You can just make one that says A, K for king, a Q for queen, a J for jack. Then you'll do your number cards, a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and a 2. Now I just had this paper in my recycling box, so I took it out and I cut them into little rectangles and I made all of those cards. Now you have to think about higher and lower. Now, the lowest one that we play with in our house is the number 2. And then the highest one we play with in our house is the A for ace. Now it can be a 1, but we like to make this be the highest number. So it's higher than a king. The next highest number is a king, so it goes ace and then a king. Then the next highest is a queen. And then if you think about the child of a king and a queen, that would be a jack. So that's a little bit lower than the queen. And then it goes down to a 10. And if you take 1 away from 10, it's the next is a 9. And then the next highest is an 8. And then a 7. So each time you're taking 1 away. And then we have a 6. And the next number 1 less is a 5. A 4. A 3. And if you take 1 away, that will be the lowest card in the deck, and that is a 2. So when you want to play war with somebody, the most important thing that you have to do is, first of all, play fair, because nobody likes it if anybody's peeking or cheating. So you want it to be a happy thing. So you're going to shuffle all the cards. Now, shuffling means you're mixing them up. So if you're playing with your homemade cards, you're going to mix them all up. And then you want to put them upside down so that you can't see what's on that card. Okay, so it's going to be a surprise. So you're going to shuffle them all up, and then you don't want to be able to see or to peek. And if you're using your real cards, if you have real cards at your house, shuffling is the same thing. So you're going to shuffle them all up. So you're going to mix them, kind of mix them all up like this. And then when my kids were little, I'll show you how we mixed them at our house. We just took them and we sometimes even just laid them on the table and mixed them up. That might be easier for kids to do. So mix them all up. And again, you're going to put those cards, make them all going the same way. And you're going to put those cards upside down. Okay? So the cards are upside down. Now, I'm going to pretend that I'm 2 different people playing. So I'll pretend that's one person and then this person, okay? Now, when you play war, you turn over 1 card at a time. So if it's my turn, I'm going to turn over, I turned over and I got a jack. And then the person that I'm playing against will turn over their card, and their card is a 7. So think about what's bigger, the jack or the 7. And we talked about all of those picture cards or the letter cards are bigger than the number cards. Jack, queen, king, and then the daddy is the highest one is the ace. So it's like the child is the jack, the queen is the mom, the king is the dad, and then the ace is like the grandpa. So the jack is bigger, so whoever has the jack is going to collect both of those cards. And then we'll each take a turn again. So this time I flipped a 4. And the person I'm playing with flipped a 10. So think about what is greater, the number 10 or the number 4. You got it, 10 is bigger. So the person who has the bigger number collects those cards. Let's try it again. So I got a 7, and the person I'm playing with got an 8. Think about what is greater, 7 or 8. You can use your fingers. We have 7 or 8. I think 8 is 1 bigger than 7. So the 8 gets to collect. Let's flip again. A 9. I got a 9. That's a high number. And the person I'm playing with got the jack. And remember, the jack is bigger then the 9 or the 10, so the jack gets that one. Oh, I've got 9 and a 6. 9 is greater than 6. A king, that's a big one, and a 5. The king is almost the biggest card in the whole deck. The only one bigger than that is an ace. So the king is bigger than the 5. Let's try one more. Ooh, a 3. Oop, that one didn't get flipped over. I'm going to shuffle those up. They were going the wrong direction. A 3 and... Ooh, a 3 and a 3. So these we call equal. And equal is when you get to have a war. So what you do when you play and you get the equal number is each person will lay down a card in the middle. So this one's going to put a card in the middle. Notice I did not flip that card over. I just laid it down. Then they're going to flip over a card. So I flipped over and I got a king. That's a pretty high number. Then the person I'm playing against is going to flip over their next card and they got the highest card in the deck. They got the ace. An ace is just one higher than the king. So it looks like they're going to get all of these cards on their pile. So they just snuck in a sneaky little 8 and all of these cards go on their deck. So you keep playing, boys and girls, until you go through all of your cards. And then you're going to continue playing over and over until you either decide for the game to be finished or you can decide that the game is done when one person collects all of the cards from both of the decks. So that is how you play the game of War. And War is a great game to practice your math skills. It's a great way to just relax and kind of calm down and do something, especially on a rainy day. It's a great game to play with brothers and sisters, with your moms and dads and friends. So I will send your moms and dads a message to ask them when you come to our class meetings tomorrow on our computers, please bring a deck of cards. Now it doesn't even have to be a whole entire deck of cards, okay? Just bring some cards if you have them at your house. If you don't have cards at your house, make some cards just like I showed you. And if you need help making those cards, you can ask your mommy and daddy to help you. And tomorrow we will play a game of War with our friends on the computers. I hope you're having a great Thursday, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.